is your employee willing to do for the business? What is your employee willing to do for the job? Do you have a team of guys who are showing up in the morning just merely to come and fill the day, clock in? Why is that not good for the business? Because we end up finding ourselves with a burden of salaries and not realizing nobody has a burden of commitment to deliver. Because let me tell you something. I won't use LinkedIn as an example. They give you a guy who sits in your premises to sell for you your clothes. They will not be keen to understand the dress that Judy likes or Jane, one of your customers, to clearly know that Jane doesn't like this color. And they will be more than keen to offer an extension or to go out of their way to offer their services. Because if you cannot be able to definitively tell that this guy has a commitment to the job, then you will struggle. Because this guy has to go out of his way to call your customers, to offer them service, to reply to their emails, to know that this customer has been satisfied. This customer, passion goes beyond money. And if we are not able to get our employees to have passion, then we'll miss the mark. The biggest element we want from this is a guy who's keen on results. He's a guy who's keen on delivery for the business. The KPI, what are the deliverables? Are you able to actively measure the commitment of your receptionist in your business? The one who replies to your emails, the one who responds to the customer, the first interaction with your business, the website guys who are replying and all that. Because as we move on, you'll find that the challenge of keeping employees happy is based on how much they are satisfied with the job. People will always wander their minds away from the job. But what are they doing? What are they doing for the job? And what are they willing to do for the job? The third thing we must look out for is qualification. There's something that has been said over time. I was speaking to, I said this to my management the other day, that I am believing that I'm going to resign from my company, hopefully before the end of the year. Not because I'm tired, but I found myself very excited on something I'm doing, a project or a new entry I want to do, and I found myself very excited about it, and I believe it will turn around the world, and it has somehow very much excited me. I am always very guy who's very keen to deliver things that are different. I like going out of my way to be different. That way it has always been an ambition for me. And in doing so, I like it being different. I like having it my way. And I find a great success in doing so. So recently, one of the guys that I'm brought in as a partner in the new company is our former operations director at one of the major supermarkets. And he told me something. When he left the supermarket there, the company was quite devastated. And they went around, they brought in a new CEO, who the CEO came and called in all the branch managers in all respective supermarkets, branches, They were keen to restructure the business. And they ended up bringing managers of a branch, one of the outlets, who has been in the branch or has been in the business for about 10, 15 years, and make presentations about how he's planning to grow his business. But this is a guy who has grown his skills in the business. He's a class 8 dropout, or he was a cashier, became a supervisor. From being a supervisor, he was made an assistant branch manager. Then somehow the commitment came on and he became the branch manager and has run and done the business for many years. The reason why I'm giving you that story, because he told me something. Many of us in businesses are very keen on his idea. But you forget something. That this came before this. It's something we really forget, including myself. The passion came before qualification. And they fired very many managers of their branches and brought in young, vibrant, qualified people. And if I were to mention the name, you will know that the chain is coming down because they forgot what came before qualification. We are very keen on guys who've done degrees, diplomas, and everything else. But we do not fail to understand that it is the actual qualification that are non-tangible, greater value for the business than those that require you to be qualified by technically having the skill set or training required on it. But most of us are not willing to give opportunity because they look less qualified, they look less passionate, or they look less the position. We forget that the most of us who are qualified for most of these jobs have clear understanding or clear requirements to do some of these things. We must be able to know for a fact that if this, we must be able to look at the qualification of this. Because if I am able to get the skills of this person, I am largely able to find it possible to excel with this guy, then we are able to look at this. And within this, there will be what we call soft skills and on-the-job skills. There are guys you know, for instance, I have two boys, twins, and one of them likes cars. Within 2 minutes, one of my boys will know how to get things done. So he knows how to start. You hold him down, it's about 6 years. If he sits on me, he'll drive comfortably. He won't wander, he will drive. Not you hold the steering and he will do it right. The other one may not do it as excellently as the others. They're soft skills, they come naturally. The guys who have very good drive, talk to people, who can make presentations very easily. You should be able to capture them very quickly. They are on the job skills, even that we acquire, driving, presentations, our language, our ability, and all that. And within this, one of the things that we must be keen on when you look about skills, soft skills, is what I would call communication. Both written and spoken. Now, this can become an item on its own, or else can become a sub-qualification item. But why? I learned something the other day that I want to tell us today. That each of us, something I'm learning, must have great ability to communicate, both in written communication, ability to speak. But there's more commitment to written than there is to spoken. We must spend more time writing our thoughts, our opinion, our passion, our ambition, everything. I met a guy, I think one of the richest businessmen I have met. And I realized something. Before I went for that meeting, I was told Paul will have a notebook. And he will not, he will look at you, he'll always be like this, looking up, writing and looking up. And for a fact, I was prepared, and when I walked to the meeting, he only looked at me face to face when we were having chai after the meeting. But the whole time, he was writing things down. I realized his notebook is almost finished. He wrote like, I went to meet a director at Cooperative Bank yesterday or the day before. And my presentation, he wrote almost 4 pages, writing down. Being that I'm wondering what he was writing. I didn't think I was that eloquent. But somehow he kept writing and writing. There's something about the written one. We, even as young entrepreneurs, we must have a commitment to the written one and a great commitment to the spoken one. The great speakers of the world have turned around the world by their great ability to speak. Are you able to inspire passion from your staff? Are your staff able to inspire passion from others? If you have a small team of your cleaners, your cooks, your things, whatever business you are in, are they able to inspire passion from each other? Because that can come from whatever they write to the staff. You have a guy writing an email across the office, and he writes very derogatory things, very demeaning things. They end up demoralizing. And this is the supervisor you have, who is unable to write, yeah, who is unable to speak. This is a commitment of the business. We must be able to do this. The fourth thing is leadership. Within leadership, I'm very keen on presentation, posture. Now, and the last thing I want us to look at, what is the leadership? You know, you can tell somebody who's a leader by them walking in. You don't need to spend more time with people. If I sit with this group together, all of us, and if you put 5 of us, put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, within 2-3 minutes, guys sitting together, somebody will become the leader and will start leading. I don't know what happens. The guys who are like that. There's a guy, friend of mine, a guy you are saying, Simon. Simon is a chairman everywhere he goes. He goes to the church, he's a chairman. He's a chairman of, I think, of 4 churches. 4 churches. He's like that. Simon goes into a small group, he's a chairman. He goes into the next one, he's a chairman. And you're another guy who doesn't have that. The ability to, as you're looking for guys, look for guys with that passion. You can tell people their leadership. Even when you're looking at an interview panel, for instance, guys who are sitting, and you look at the interviewee and you can tell passion, leadership, and ability to ease up. Yeah, guys who come for an interview and they're shaking the whole time, and you think, I don't want that. I want confidence. Today, I went to court today. I'm an expert witness in a very famous murder case. So I went before the judge, and everybody was so scared around the judge, and we went to his chambers. It was very easy. And I started talking politics, and the judge, and all of a sudden the small room became a court. I'm so lean, and I'm supposed to start giving my expert witness. But this is the kind of thing we want. When you walk in before the judge, you can speak. You want, therefore, because in business, we will go to the president and make presentation. We will be in an exhibition, for instance. And the president decides to walk around the exhibition. Your tent is just somewhere around the corner, and one of your guys has been left. The president comes and says, "Hey, unafanyaga kazi gani?" The guy starts shaking. I mean, that is one moment you want in your business. That the guy goes out of his way, says, "Mr. President, we are the only guys who do this. If you get stuck with this, we're the only guy." He may not take note. A few months later, you may have a problem within the areas that you solve. You say, "By the way, there's our conference we had gone. Those guys had something they used to do." The Bible talks about your skills will take you to great men. True or not true? True. So the Bible in itself acknowledges for a fact that there is always a better man than you are. It suddenly acknowledges there's always a greater man than you are. If you think you're handsome enough, wait until you meet the next guy. And you realize, by the way, if I leave this guy's wife, she's gone. If you think you drive a good car, wait until you meet. I went for a funeral the other day, on 2 days ago, I think. And the guys, we were sitting in a committee for the funeral. The guy is a good friend of mine. So there's a guy who was a chairman, we called him patron. And the assistant patron was me. So somehow it's a big team. We raise money, we go for the funeral. And I realized that day I had an accident, so I went with my car had an accident, so I went with a very small car. Then I realized the guys who I was with are not at the funeral. So all the politicians come, Raila and the rest. And I realized my guys are not showing up. Only to realize 2 of my guys came in their own choppers. Simple guys. 2 of my guys. You know, they don't need to. And one guy has about 18 choppers, the other guy has 3 or 4 choppers. I mean, these are normal human guys working. There will always be a better man than you are. But how do you differentiate? It's your ability within the strength that you are, excel. Have great ability to present. Second thing is ability to have that precision. Ability. You know, in leadership, there's something else. There's a guy who walks into a situation and manages to turn it around. Because one thing is always about how do they carry themselves. The posture. I mean, how you standing in this whole thing. We cannot, in ourselves, not carry the posture of a leader. In the employees that we get, and not get the very best. Finally, in our quest to look for employees, you must get the very best. The very best of the best of the business that your business needs to be gotten. Matching the role and the deliveries. You must be able to match these are the best with the role they are playing and their delivery. There are people who like, yes, you're the best in your business, but are you playing the right role? Are you best? I don't know much about football, but at least I know Messi and the rest of the characters. I don't know much. I will not lose my sleep for football. But I know guys who are passionate the same. I used to support Chelsea until they threw away my guy I love, the coach. So I no longer support them. So I'm teamless. I don't think I'll support Man U. So, but I always believe that some of the best players are not put in their roles, in their number, 6, 10, they will not deliver. You cannot have your best employee best area they excel. We hire engineers from around the world. Our engineers are highly paid. Their housing, their cars. The guy comes from India. Also, these guys come from India. And we give them a house fully furnished. In Westerns, because our office is in Westerns. We give him a car and a driver. But we put him to the best of his ability. So in the thing called data recovery or forensics or anything that we do, we excel by putting the guy who can most deliver at that job. We've gone further, like this time we are getting specialized engineers for doing specific items within the line of business. I was talking about being told about Germans. Timekeeper, please make sure I don't like being, I go in meetings when guys go out of their way. I don't like that, is always unfair. So I was being told about Germans. Germans have an ability, a natural ability, I'm told, of being great engineers. But they don't have that design aspect. You tell him this is my problem, he will design for your solution. But he will not present it nicely, like at the finish, at the end. And you need to understand the role that the employee you're looking for will come and play in your business. If they are not playing the right role, even if however good they are, they're not going to deliver. And they must have ability to deliver because of the role they are playing. You have a guy in sales who is really good at sales. If you take him to technical, he cannot deliver. Thank you. He will not deliver. But if you deliver him at the right spot, doing the right thing, he suddenly will give it all. There is no way we cannot be able to get the best employees and not have them play their role. And finally, as we're getting some of these things, the one thing that will always be questioned is money. What will I get out of all this? You must be able to devise ways of paying. You can pay on commissions. You can do a revenue share. You can do so many other ways. But one of the things that we must be able to do is not lose good employees because of how much money they're asking. You find a guy, he's asking for $1 million. Tell him, what if I give you shareholding? What if I give you 20% of what you're delivering? What if I give you more? So that you don't lose. You do not need to lose. One thing that I've been very fascinated about, our friend of mine who likes movies, a full glass of water and a tank of water, which is bigger. So if you own 1% of this, if you own 100% of this, and you look at a 5,000 liter tank and you own 1% of that, which one do you own more? 100% of this, a 5,000 liter tank, 1%.
1% of 5,000 liters.
I thought the 100% is better. Yeah? But why are we not able to see that in business? Why is everybody looking at me funny? What is the truth?
It's not sinking. Yeah.
We like owning 100% of a liter. Nobody wants to own 1% of a 5,000 liter. We are keen on being the majority shareholder. For what? Doing what? Huh? I don't know why. You know, over years I have seen this crazy madness. We cannot be able to continue owning 100% off for nothing. I am more than willing, even where I work at data, holding less than 5%. I have zero problem with that. But the value of what I own has a greater value. Why don't you get these best employees, give them shareholding in the business, give them revenue shares, make them signatories in the bank. I mean, free up. Over the years, so many years, I have always been very fascinated about signing the check in the bank. I no longer find fun in them. Maybe I'm growing old or something, I don't know. But it's the initial thing that I was holding so closely that I no longer find passion in holding. Because they have no value in the greater good of the business. You cannot remain to be 100% of this. We have so many guys dying for our business who the next offer for the next shop, next to your shop, Linky, the next shop, maybe they offer them 5,000 more, she will be more than willing to leave. But because you've held on to this 100%, and it excites you to become a director, for what? Own 1%. And I'm going to dare you guys, here who are in it. You have people around you who have great skills. But you always think of holding yourself. You will not go places. And if you do, you will go when you're old. So you don't find passion in reaching there. It's like we always dream of being in the Bahamas and all, and when you get old, I mean, what do you do there when you're old? You'll only see the beach and get bored and you think, go to Kalashi. I was invited by a friend of mine for Christmas for the 31st. And I was in his hotel. Good friend of mine, young guy. Very young, but my same age, and he has a hotel in Mombasa, very exclusive hotel. I remember 31st, and I was dozing. I will never forget. And I told my wife, we were sitting on the couch, the kids have slept. I told her, by the way, listen, I was watching news then, and it's 11 o'clock because a few minutes to 11, there's a hotel that started burning in Dubai. So I told her, you don't worry. In Dubai or Meruka, I mean Meruka, because Dubai is us. That's the main thing. It was always exciting over the years. I remember my young days, I used to go to Nyayo Stadium for Shamwaka and Keshas and all that. And it used to be fun. 24 would be running all over the city, getting excited. And over the years, it's dwindling. I used to get excited when I travel abroad and I want to post pictures on Facebook. I no longer do it anymore. I can no longer take a selfie of me in a flight and post it online. I can't do that anymore. But I know for a fact is that we are always very excited about owning 100%. I start with you, Linky, because you're my friend. That business, stop owning 100%. I dare you, because sooner or later, you will not, very many years from today, you will understand what I'm telling you today. The shop across to you, the one that has 5 stories, what is it called? The one on Moy Avenue, the one that sells clothes.
Yes.
Jade. You may be surprised to find that 3-4 women who do that business together, who have teamed up. Let me tell you, the people that I know in this country are many. If I got one guy who knew another set of people that I don't know, why shouldn't I put him together? Because me and him combined, we know more people than me alone.
True. It's powerful, mate.
Because I tell you for a fact, is a studying for the president's PA to many people, I know them. I know them. But you have the side of people that you know. Maybe the deputy president is your cousin. Maybe he's, you know, we want to build business because business is all about network.
Yes.
It's all about you know who and you know what. Don't be cheated. It's not about service. Nobody should lie to you that I buy from company B because of how much they deliver. Delivery is normally second class. First thing is about the network. How do I relate to the people? How do I network? That's why we have relationship managers for banks and businesses that are managing it. We cannot should not, will not continue to own what we so desperately are passionate about, but doesn't have value for us. If it's something I'll tell you guys who are young in business and you, don't make the ultimate mistake many of us made. When we held on to the business for so many years, that we never thought that if I let go, I make it excel. If I let it go, I make it better. I have children I have let go to work. Right now, it's about 9 o'clock. I don't know where they are. I don't have to be everywhere they are. My mother died and she left me go, I go. I mean, I am here. I don't have to die with her. But if she passed on, I would have had. She was holding on to me, I'm forced to die because what do I live on? We cannot continue to own these businesses. We have great employees in our organization that we should own part and parcel of that business. But we want to hold on to these organizations. We want to feel we own them wholly. The greatest success of our business is the amount of passion combined that our business is generating. If the business combined, your entire organization is already generating enough passion, enough energy, enough drive, it will not get there. If you look at a steam train driving from Mombasa to Nairobi, it will only get to Nairobi. You look at the olden days, the amount of energy that is being put in, the amount of passion, coal, wood that is being poured in to turn the engine, for it to turn the turbines, for it to generate energy, and for it to turn. Our businesses will only excel if we get the right mix of employees. Our success is tied to the people that clean your office, the one that bring tea to you, the one that drives your vehicles, the ones that hold the greatest message of your organization close to hand. If our messenger doesn't value our business, if our messenger is one leg in and one leg out, we will not excel. If our commitment to our business by the employees is unwavering for 1 minute, we will not get the best of them because we'll be out emailing the whole day their CVs. I have a friend of mine called James, and every time I get a CV from this guy, I forward to him to know what's happening. We have this thing like we are losing. We are very keen to have the best employees as organizations. One thing we must struggle to do is get the best out of these guys. I pray that I have been of value to you. And I pray that as our businesses grow, we may find an opportunity to do some of these things. Not many. Do one thing. In my next business, I'll do it different. I will excel better because I know it. Our passion has been to build apartments, to jenge ploti, buy land. I am very much against that traditional way of thinking. I have this thing I always tell everybody. If my own father got money today, 3 things he will do: buy land, take a ploti, become a landlord. True or not true? But what about us? If we do the same thing, what difference are we there? You find guys in America who only own the 49th floor of their building, the apartment he lives in. He is a multi-billionaire. Our investment ideology as business people has become very wayward. We want to drive big cars like I do, or any of us would like doing. We want to live large. We want to have property and rent. But what are we doing about investing in the business? amount of money. If you get a project of 20 million, how much money do you draw out of the business for yourself, and how much do you go out and build property and all that? If you believe your business has enough energy to generate profits, the passion that you need, put more on it. Because if you look at investing in property and all that, what do we do? I learned by what I talked about Saito. I went to look for Dande 2 days ago. The new business I'm looking for. And I was looking for him for one thing. Incidentally, I was going out of the country, so I couldn't get a session to speak. So Dande is the owner of a company called Saito. This guy's work. And I was going to ask him something. Not that I don't know, but I thought I should know from somebody else. What's the difference between a presentation? You're going to look for investment that gives you $2 million, and another one you go in, you get $2 billion. What's the difference between these two presentations? Why a new startup like Uber can go for a presentation and get $2 billion. $2 billion. And the company that made that entire original idea was not Uber's. It was another company. They got $2 million. What on earth makes the difference between that presentation? As I'm finding it out, I want us to find it out for ourselves. If we are looking for investment, we're looking for partners. What's the difference between a presentation for our business that gives us a business for 20 million and another one that delivers a business for 2,200,000? The moment we understand this, we will not fail again. We will not lack passion again. We will not fail to see the essence of our business. Because we will have greater appreciation for the things that our business can do for us.
I've learned so much. Secondly, Linky's question, canvassing for those people who don't understand is giving someone prior information about the job. So they already have information that they should not have about the job. Then, about what you've said about friends and saying about being referred to, people referring to you, I know this person. It's also another area that I've seen doesn't work too well, because that person comes with a mentality of, what can I say? Like they already have a right and they don't give their all. So I agree with what George has said. Secondly, when you're adding your presentation, you say, what's the difference between a $2 million deal and how to get a $2 billion deal? For Uber, you'll be surprised how they got that deal. Can you imagine the Twitter that you people know, all of you, that's how they got their billion deal. The guy who wanted to get the application that Uber has tweeted and said that if anybody out there has an application to do with transport, and this guy who was not working with Uber at that time responded with one tweet, which was very short. He said, yes, email me, and he left his email address. 5 years later, the investor who had asked that question responded, and that's how they got the deal. Yeah.
To ask you a question, it's good that you talked about success and all that, but I also think it's good to go the other way. I don't know how you deal with failure. I don't know if there's a time you've ever invested in either business or something and you've either got a loss or something. How do you deal with failure? You yourself as a business and also as an employee who doesn't deliver.
Thanks. I deal with that every other day. You have a guy coming into the business, and 6 months down the line, you have no delivery. I have a great disappointment on that. And to be honest, I struggle with that very much. reconcile with myself. Guys who you invested heavily on anything, then they don't get it. How do you deal with failure in business is you learn to find a way to escape for a day or two when things don't go very well. I'm a guy who likes, this is my thing, so don't copy me. Go home, I put on the TV, I get a blanket, and I lie on the couch. And it frees up my mind. That's my thing. It works perfectly. It sorts out my problem. Then I'll drive home, I'll put on very loud music. It will also heal my heart. I have disappointing days, I tell you guys. But I've also learned to accept failure as part of the whole thing. So, yes, it is part and parcel of the business. It's like waiting for tenders. You hope the deal will come through and doesn't necessarily mean that you should kill yourself, just accept it. And sometimes it's at a very heavy price. Yes, it happens. Thanks.
I'll ask two questions. One, still on the 2 million and 20 billion presentations. What was your understanding before the consultation? And what is your understanding right now? Probably you could shed some light on that. And the other thing is on the issue of partners. Do you have could you give us like some parameters or some highlights on one would consider when looking around for partners, business partners? Thank you.
I think those two questions marry. When I was going to Saiton to talk to this guy about presentation, I was trying to understand. He has been an asset manager for Britain. So you handle serious money. When you're on the other side of an investor who has the money to invest, what kind of things are you looking out for a business for you to put your money in it? What kind of presentation? What information do you need? Because it's always a factor of information. I want to marry that with a question. I'm looking for about $500 million shillings for a project. 500 million shillings for a project I want to do. And it's about $5 million, not a lot of money. And I thought to myself, how is it that I am able to put this together and be able to understand how to implement it? It's to be able to know, who do I bring on the table? What will they bring? If you're looking for a partner, it's like looking for a wife. What do you need in her? Or for a husband? You already have a set ideology on what you're lacking and what this partner can bring on the table. Because you must be able to know what is it that you need. For instance, if you have the cash and you do not have the idea of where to invest the cash, when to invest, then you are an angel investor. So you become a partner, somebody else has an idea. Okay? If you don't have the cash and you need a guy to come in and put in the cash, then you will know that if I come without cash, I'm not the ideal partner for your business. If, for instance, you're looking for an opportunity within a certain area, and I belong to a certain other sector, like me and in ICT, and you bring me to the agriculture sector, I cannot be of value to you. What value do I bring on the table for your business? So if it's industry-wise, knowledge, skill set, everything else. So for instance, if you get into the engineering, you're a contractor, and you need an engineer partner, what would be an engineer's value to your business? So it's a blend of your expectation and your requirements, and you must be able to marry them together. It's always ideal to find partners who you have a common share interest. They are referred to you, they've been introduced to you by people they have been allowed to engage with you. It was remembered about referencing employees. It's something I've learned that if you take time, good time, and refer or get to know that employee from their previous employment, you find yourself to have a great understanding. When we opened our office in Tanzania, we lost about $20,000 in the first few months of operations, about 20 million shillings in losses. Because I was very keen to hire a manager. The lady I got very impressed, and I was very angry with KCB because we were trying to hire her from KCB Tanzania because they were not replying to my email. And so I sent an email and saying I'm trying to hire an employee. Please give me an referral on the person. And they kept not replying, saying I'll reply on Monday. And I decided to hire the lady either way because I was very much in a hurry. But when the reply came, the employee, and what was said, and so many months later, what I came to discover was very real. I hired an employee once, and the HR that I called to reference them, we became very good friends after that. We are still good friends to date. And the opinion she gave me of that lady, so many years later, came to be true. Because I think she had told me we are not sure, but we suspended her for some misappropriation of results. We are not. It was not factually proven, but we thought that she was involved in some misappropriation. So many years later, 2 or 3 years later, I learned that she was also doing the same in my organization. You take time and understand these guys. Call people, call a few guys, their former employers, because all of us have a tendency of getting referees that are friendly to our CV, but doesn't necessarily represent the truth. There's none of the police employer call him directly, find out who owns our business, because somebody who put a supervisor there was friendly to them. But call the MD, call the general manager, call somebody else who will give you a different opinion. Get 2-3 opinions of the same entity. And you get very interesting information about it, guys. Thank you.
As we grow, we hire the best. But in due course, they become somewhat connected with their clients. So they come to a point where they also buy away, they go away with their clients. How do you handle that? Did you say to part?
I think it's something that you must accept will happen. You know, what do guys buy from our businesses? James will tell you something. When we started Data Recovery, I was the only guy who was doing everything. I was the MD, the engineer. So when I'm out of the office, no work could be done. Then I realized, no. I brought in James, and I brought in a younger brother of mine. He was my sister's son, but we were raised together somehow like brothers, so I brought him. And I learned very much that he was a very skillful engineer. Very, very skillful. You guys will live. You will be betrayed. How did I solve my problem? People know data handlers more than they know me. I decided to build a brand. And I made my brand big. So that the next time somebody wants to think about data, they'll think about the business, not about the individuals. Our problem is that we build our businesses around ourselves. And we forget that us, we are only limited as human beings. It is something about going out of your way to excel in business. It will always outlive us. There's something I want you to commit yourself, is that this business will be left for my children, for the next generation. And it cannot be left for the next generation when it's a tattered business. it has to have outlived you. The oldest corporation in the world, the GE, General Electric, has outlived the owners. It's the oldest company in the world, if you don't know. And why did they do that? They realized that it will outlive them. So they made the brand great. Companies like Ford. Ford is almost 100 plus years old. Yeah? They realized that they will not excel if they do not make the brand. So when Henry Ford started business, he knew that this thing will go on forever. So you want to do best, your employees will leave. Don't worry, they will start their own spin-offs. And if you're not good, they'll beat you at it. It's always said that the next product of your product, if you're not good at it, will always excel way better than the original idea.
So it's a privilege sitting in one of your forums. Now, there's the analogy you used: 1 liter, 1% of 100% of 1 liter compared to 1% of 5,000. Now, using that analogy, in offering equity to your investors and employees as a form of remuneration, do you think doesn't that open doors for boardroom politics and all? And maybe you can expound on that. Now, as business people, you can use that to our advantage while we are issuing stakes to investors and maybe even our partners. Thank you.
I have known one thing, is that people will always disagree. And boardroom wars will always be there. But how is it that we still have to balance between boardroom wars and all that? One element that makes people disagree is an element called money. It makes guys want to stop doing business together. When money gets a lot, they seem to get into wars. Why is that? Because money goes to our head instead of our wallet. I wish you guys well. Thank you for listening.